Dear friends, we are in the BBA third semester Human Resource Management subject. In the previous class, we have started a discussion on disputes redressal mechanism, disputes resolution mechanism. Disputes, I mentioned, refers to difference of opinion. See, when two parties are there are bound to be differences of opinions. In our country, various laws have been enacted with the help of which disputes can be resolved. Dispute means a difference of opinion. Dispute means disagreement in certain issues. See, if I say that I will take class at 9:10, some of you may agree with me, some of you may disagree with me. Some may want the class in the evening, some may want the class in the afternoon. So there are bound to be differences. So those differences can be sorted out. And in our country, various acts have been enacted, like Factories Act, Industrial Disputes Act, like workers' participation in management. Several techniques are there with the help of which disputes can be resolved. In our previous class, we have discussed about these disputes resolution techniques have been divided into two categories: preventive or non-statutory machinery and settlement or statutory machinery. See, in the previous class, we have discussed about all these topics. Means negotiation, trade unions, joint consultations, standing orders, grievance procedure, code of discipline, mediation, collective bargaining. These are known as preventive dispute resolution machinery or non-statutory machinery. Whereas these are known as settlement or statutory machinery. So those are namely conciliation, arbitration, and adjudication. See, adjudication is the highest body. In conciliation, we have three categories: conciliation officer, board of conciliation, and court of inquiry. These three are part and parcel of conciliation. Whereas in arbitration, we have voluntary arbitration and compulsory arbitration. In adjudication, labor courts are there, industrial tribunals are there, national tribunals are there. These three are part and parcel of adjudication. Now we will start our discussion with conciliation. What is a conciliation? When you are see in financial accountancy, you must have come across bank reconciliation statement. Okay, when you are reconciling, what you try to do is you try to strike out a balance. If there is any difference between cash book balance and cash passbook balance, you will try to solve out the issue. That is what you will do in bank reconciliation statement. Similarly, in conciliation, it is a dispute resolution process in which the parties to a dispute agree to utilize the services of a person who is known as conciliator. In conciliation, you will have a person who is known as conciliator. Okay, both the parties, both the differing parties will agree to solve the issue, solve the dispute, resolve the dispute with the help of a conciliator. Okay, who meets both the parties and tries to solve the issue. Okay. Now, these conciliation processes can take form of conciliation officer, board of conciliation, and court of inquiry. These three are the different types of conciliation. So, conciliation generally, a third party will come. That is according to the rules and regulations of the government, concerned government. It may be state government, it may be central government. Whereas here you can see mediation is there. This is not compulsory, this is voluntary. Preventive. Government will not say in mediation government's role is minimal. Government will not interfere. Whereas this is a statutory machinery. Conciliation officer will be appointed by the government. Okay. What you have to remember, Industrial Disputes Act in the previous class also I mentioned. Industrial Disputes Act was enacted in our country during which year? 1947. In 1947, Industrial Disputes Act was enacted in our country. So according to that, the central and state governments can appoint a conciliation officer. So here in mediation, mediator is not appointed by the government. Whereas in conciliation officer is appointed by the government. It may be central government or it may be state government. So that conciliation officer will mediate in an issue brought to his notice, brought to his or her notice. Okay, under the Industrial Disputes Act 1947, each number of members who are part and parcel of this dispute resolution process, they will be appointed for a specific area. So let us take, for example, you take the case of Telangana. So dear students, you can see the difference. In mediation, government will not appoint any person, whereas in conciliation, government will appoint. Conciliation officer will be appointed by the government. The conciliation officer may pertain to a specific area. Means, let us take for example in Telangana, a conciliation officer may be appointed for the regions of Khammam, Kottagudem and Warangal regions. For Karimnagar, Adilabad and Peddapalli region, another person may be appointed as a conciliation officer. Okay, so conciliation officer will be appointed by the concerned state government or central government, and the conciliation officer may be appointed with reference to a particular place or particular area or particular industry. Industry wise also they can be appointed. Means a conciliation officer may be appointed for sugar industry or film industry or iron industry or cement industry, like that. So conciliation officers are appointed by the concerned governments, and the conciliation officers may pertain to a specific area or a specific industry as well, and their duty is to solve the issue, solve the dispute between employers and employees. Okay, similarly, conciliation officer may be appointed for only one particular industry or more than one particular industry. A single conciliation officer may be appointed. Okay, together for sugar industry, together for film industry, together for cement industry, to take care of disputes in all these three industries, a single conciliation officer may be appointed in Telangana. Okay, so like the conciliation officers will be appointed either by the state governments or by the central governments. They act as mediators. See, all this machinery has failed to solve the issue, to solve the dispute between two parties. Then next level is they will approach the statutory machinery. They will approach the settlement machinery. In that machinery, whatever decision comes, all have to follow compulsory. See here, decisions will not be binding on the parties. The parties may do what the decision is taken, or may not implement the decision that is taken in a preventive or non-statutory machinery. But here, parties have to compulsorily abide by the decision of the conciliation officer, or parties have to compulsorily abide by the rules, abide by the decision taken by national tribunals, because they have statutory power, whereas these powers are limited. These are non-statutory machineries. Okay, so conciliation officer has a great power in deciding who is correct in an industrial dispute. Okay, now come to board of conciliation. So second conciliation machinery, second thing in conciliation machinery is board of conciliation. See, it is not a permanent machinery to solve a dispute, to solve an issue between two parties. See, in board of conciliation, what happens is a person is appointed on temporary basis. In technical terms, you will call temporary as ad hoc, ADHOC, ad hoc basis. On ad hoc basis, a person will be appointed to solve an issue. Okay, ad hoc basis, ADHOC. Okay, on temporary basis, concerned government will appoint an individual to solve an issue. That is what you mean by saying board of conciliation. Okay, it is an ad hoc as well as tripartite body. What do you mean by tripartite? See, tripartite, tri means three. Our flag is tricolor. So you can see my profile picture. I changed it. It is our tricolor flag. Means in our national flag we have three colors. So that I have put it as my profile picture in Zoom. Similarly, in board of conciliation, you will have tripartite body. Means three persons will be there normally. Generally, one chairman will be there, and 2 or 4 persons will assist the chairman in solving a dispute. You have to remember this. Okay, tripartite body, 3 parties will be there. Okay, 3 persons will be there. Okay, the chairman is appointed by the government. I told you one chairman and 2 or 4 persons will be there in the board. The chairman will be appointed by the concerned government. Okay, and government will take care of the appointment of chairman such that he is not related to either the factory concerned or the employees concerned. So he is not a relative of the employees as well as he is not a relative of the industry owners. So the government will appoint such a person as a chairman. Okay, so it will have the powers of a civil court. Please you have to remember it. The board of conciliation will have a power of civil court. You know cases in court, you will find cases as civil cases and criminal cases. What is the difference between the two? Can anybody say? Can anybody say? Can anybody put in the chart? With an example you tell. In class, I already mentioned the difference between a civil case and a criminal case. Can anybody explain? Can anybody explain with the help of an example in the chat box? Will anybody type? Please suppose this is agricultural field. This is Aditya's field, and this is Karthik's field. Let us take for example. Okay, this is an example of civil case and criminal case. So this is the border between the two agricultural fields. So Karthik, one fine night, when Aditya is not there, he knows that during night time Aditya will not be there, no persons will be there to protect the boundaries. So one fine night, he came with 2 of his friends and he changed this border from this to this. Okay, he erased this border, he changed it to this, so that his agricultural field area will increase. Then in the morning, Aditya came to the field and saw this, and immediately what he did is, during night time, the same another next to night time, he came with 3-4 of his friends. He went to Karthik's house and he severely punished Karthik physically. See, first one is civil case, means the changing of assets, border, or anything related to money, that is a civil case. Whereas assaulting physically, killing, that is a criminal case. So based on what type of crime we are involved in, case can be filed against us. Okay, I hope you understood the example. So in our country, in order to solve these kinds of disputes, civil courts are there and criminal courts are also there. Okay, so whatever powers that are enjoyed by civil courts, or all those powers are enjoyed by Board of Conciliation. You have to remember it. Okay, so ultimately in conciliation we have court of inquiry. Okay, in case these two failed, means conciliation officers judgment has failed, parties are not satisfied, Board of Conciliation is also unable to solve the dispute, then court of inquiry will be constituted by the government. Okay, to investigate into the matter, whatever dispute that has arisen, the concerned government will appoint a court of inquiry. Okay, so this court of inquiry will be appointed by the concerned government. It may be state government as well as it may be central government. And you all know in Gazette notification, Gazette word you must have heard, you must have come across. In Gazette notification, court of inquiry's proceedings will be published by the concerned government. Okay, in Gazette notification, court of inquiry, who is part and parcel of court inquiry, and what are his powers, what is the dispute in which he is appointed, all those matters will be made clear in the Gazette published by the concerned government. Okay, so in court of inquiry, normally we will have one independent person, only one person will be there, and he will be assisted by certain independent persons in the case. And normally court of inquiry, in court of inquiry we will find, just like in Board of Conciliation we will have one chairman, similarly in court of inquiry also one independent very powerful individual will be appointed by the government, by the concerned government. He will try to solve the issue in an amicable way, in a friendly way. Okay, so these are the three kinds of conciliation measures that are available in the country. So conciliation in simple terms, when you try to reconcile means you try to strike a balance. The differences, whatever differences of opinion exist between the parties, you will try to sort out them, you will try to solve the issues. So in which you will find three kinds of dispute redressal mechanisms: conciliation officers, Board of Conciliation, and court of inquiry. Now coming to the next settlement machinery, which is which happens to be a statutory machinery, is arbitration. Okay, so arbitration is also another kind of resolving technique of any dispute. Okay, see in arbitration, just like in conciliation also, whatever happened, the same thing, this is the next step. Okay, a neutral third party, neutral means no, the person, the concerned person will not be having any relation with the employers as well as the employees. So in arbitration also, a neutral party will try to solve the dispute. Third party which is neutral to the issue, which is in no way connected to the employers as well as employees, will try to solve the issue. Okay, the neutral third party which tries to solve the issue by listening to the issue. Both employers will go there and employees will go there and try to listen. The arbitrator will try to listen to the issue and he will decide which party is correct and he will give his judgment. So arbitration can be voluntary arbitration as well as compulsory arbitration. See, voluntary means there is no force, government will not force. any of the party, that is employer, from the employer side or from the employee side, anybody may approach the arbitrator, a third neutral party, to solve their issue. Okay. So in voluntary arbitration, both the parties together appoint an arbitrator. Together, from employer side also one representation will come forward, from employee side also representation will come forward. Together, both of them combinedly will appoint an arbitrator. Okay. So in order to solve any industrial dispute with the help of arbitrator, the government has specially enacted a certain act, and you have to remember that act: National Arbitration Promotion Board, NAPB, National Arbitration Promotion Board, NAPB. This was appointed, this was enacted, this was constituted rather in 1967. This you have to remember. In 1967, National Arbitration Promotion Board, NAPB, was constituted by the Government of India. Because with the help of arbitration, if any issue is settled, it is very easy for the government, because voluntarily or willingly both the parties come forward to settle the issue with the help of an arbitrator. In simple terms, arbitrator means, arbitrator implies a middleman, a neutral third party. Okay. So government encourages arbitration process. Okay. So voluntary arbitration is encouraged by the government. In case of any dispute exists there between parties, those disputes can be solved with the help of voluntary arbitration. Now, if voluntary arbitration fails to solve the issue, the parties will go to compulsory arbitration. Okay. So when the voluntary arbitration is exhausted means it did not result in a fruitful result, it did not give any fruitful result, then compulsory arbitration will be enforced by the government, will be forced on the parties by the government. Okay. Whenever compulsory arbitration is done by the government, those two parties have to abide by the decision of the compulsory arbitration. Whatever compulsory arbitrator decides, both the parties have to abide by the rules. Okay. So whenever compulsory arbitrator decides on any dispute, that is to be followed, that is to be adhered to by the concerned parties. Okay. So both those parties have to compulsorily obey by the orders of the compulsory arbitrator. That is the difference between voluntary arbitration and compulsory arbitration. See, in voluntary arbitration, whatever voluntary arbitrator says, it is not binding on the parties concerned. Whereas in compulsory arbitration, as the name itself implies, it is compulsory, it is binding on the parties. Parties cannot escape. Okay. So the government may prohibit any unilateral action by any of the competing parties. See, with the help of compulsory arbitration, government will prohibit any unilateral action. Unilateral means single, and from single side, no force should come forward. No force should come forward to stop, to mitigate the issue, to even further deepen the crisis. Nothing should be done. So when compulsory arbitration is done by the concerned government, that will be final and binding on the parties concerned. So in settlement or statutory machinery, first kind, conciliation settlement machinery, and second one is arbitration. Okay. In conciliation, we have three kinds of dispute resolving techniques. Conciliation officer will be there, board of conciliation, and court of inquiry. In arbitration, voluntary arbitration is there and compulsory arbitration is there. As I mentioned, in voluntary arbitration, it is not compulsory. Voluntary means willingness. Willingly, both the parties may follow or may not follow, may abide by the decision taken by the voluntary arbitrator or may not follow. So it depends. Whereas in compulsory arbitration, compulsorily the conflicting parties should abide by the decision taken by the compulsory arbitrator. Now coming to, this is the final and most powerful weapon to solve an industrial dispute. Adjudication. See, in this word itself, judiciary is there. Half judge you can see JUD. In judge you will have JUD, GE in the spelling. You have JUD. More than half of the judge is there. So whatever decisions that are taken as part and parcel of adjudication process, these three are part and parcel of adjudication. Labor courts, decision taken in labor courts, industrial tribunals, and national tribunals will be final, ultimate, and binding on the parties. This is the highest settlement machinery. Okay, so we will start with the labor court, but before that, you have to remember that these adjudication machineries have been there in the country since 1947 as a result of Industrial Disputes Act. In the 1940s, in the year of 1947, we attained independence. In the same year, Industrial Disputes Act was enacted to solve various disputes that are there between management and employees across various industries, across various factories. So Industrial Disputes Act was enacted in our country in 1947, and as a result of which labor courts are established, industrial tribunals are established, and national tribunals are established in the country. Now let us start with labor courts. But before this, just a recap of what we have learned. We have started with dispute. What is a dispute? Dispute in simple terms is referred to a difference of opinion between two parties. That is what we mean by saying disputes. Resolution means resolving technique, means problem solving technique. There is a difference of opinion. We have to solve the issue. Okay, that difference resolution mechanisms have been of 2 times. As we are running out of time, this settlement are in statutory machinery. This last and ultimate and most powerful, that is adjudication. About this we will learn in our next class, because we are running out of time, my dear friends. Okay, so thank you very much. We will meet in our next class.